I want to share with you an espionage story, why people spy, meaning why do they betray their country, whether they're spying on the United States, whether they're spying for the United States. And my name is Jason Hanson. I'm a former CIA officer. Make sure you like, subscribe, turn on the ring notification. But let's get to exactly what I'm going to talk about today, and that is mice, M-I-C-E. And no, I'm not talking about those little critters running around. Funny enough, a friend of mine who lives in Wisconsin, and she lives out in the country, told me the other night she woke up with a mouse running over her. So that would be that would wake you up for sure, give you a little late night jolt. So let's get back to mice. So mice is an acronym. I'm going to tell you what each one stands for and what it has to do with people who are spying, meaning betraying their country. So when I say betraying their country, if someone in the United States goes and spies for Russia and sells secrets to Russia, obviously they're betraying the United States and they should be hanged. And when an intelligence officer of the United States goes over to Russia, China, etc., and says, hey, would you like to spy on behalf of the United States and help us? Obviously, they are betraying their own country. So what motivates people to do this? How do you encourage people to do this? Why do people spy? Well, again, it's mice. So what does mice stand for? M stands for money. That's kind of an obvious one. So people want money. So when an American betrays the United States, it is often for money. So they get recruited, or a lot of times they walk in and say, hey, I've got these secrets. I work for the CIA, NSA, FBI, whatever, and I want some money. I need some money. As I said earlier, I think those people should spend a lot more time in prison than they do these days. And we have far too many people who are betraying our awesome country, and the penalties are not harsh enough. So I'm not joking when I say it should be hanging, firing squad. It should be the death penalty. That would hopefully demotivate them to betray our great nation. So M is money. Now, it is mostly, not mostly, I mean, everybody wants money, but if an American is to betray America, it's often because of money, whereas other countries or other people from other countries betraying their country, helping the United States, it's not always for money. So M is money. Next is I. Ideology. So that's where other countries say, hey, you know, I hate communism. I know communism, socialism are the world's worst thing, and I want to help spread freedom. I want to help the United States because I love the United States. You're a free country. And so if you are an intelligence officer going over to recruit somebody, you're clearly going to do your background checks on them. You're going to know them better than themselves. And you're going to see that, hey, this guy says, you know, he said in meetings, or, not meetings. You wouldn't say that if you're in Russia or China. You're not saying that kind of stuff out loud. But, we've heard through the grapevine that he is really pro-freedom, that he hates communism, that he wants freedom. And you would clearly tap into that ideology and sell them on that. So that's M, money, I, ideology, and next is C. So what is C? Well, coercion, aka blackmail. Now, this is not a good thing to use when trying to recruit somebody. So if you're a super spy intelligence operative and you work for the United States government, you're going over to wherever other country trying to recruit somebody, money's good because you can always hand them money. Ideology is good, but coercion, blackmail is not good, and we try and never ever use that. Why? Well, because it never turns out right. People hate you. You can't trust them after, you're blackmailing them type of thing. Other countries do use this. So why, as a U.S. intelligence officer, why would you use coercion? Why would you basically blackmail somebody? Every once in a while, let me think how I can phrase this. Let's start hypothetically, okay? Let's hypothetically say that you are a spy, right? You work for the U.S. government, and you get an assignment, you get a tasking that says, hey, there's this super important thing that we need, and we know you're running agents in, let's just keep using Russia, that's easy to use, in Russia, and they have access to this super important thing, and we need you to get it, and we need it at all costs. It is that important that we don't care, pull out of the stops, money's not an object, like we need this no matter what. And they also make it known that, hey, like if you have to burn them, when I say burn them, that means, blackmail them because they're not going to want to work with you again. You do whatever it takes. So you are, again, U.S. intelligence operative. You've got your agent, your spy you're running in Russia who's handing secrets, and you go to him and say, hey, Bob, something just came down the pipeline, and they need me to get X, and I know you have access to that. And it's really, really important, and they, Bob, we're going to give you all this money. Name your price, everything. And he's nervous and says, no, it's too dangerous. Yes, I have access to it, but it's too dangerous for me to retrieve it. I might get caught. It's too high value intelligence that I cannot take that risk. And so you say, Bob, you're getting, I'm just making these numbers up, is, you're going to get $100,000 for XYZ. We can give you $1 million. And for a government worker, and well, for a government worker in the United States, that's a heck of a lot of money. But for a government worker in many parts of this country, parts of this world, you know, that's obviously life-changing money for all of us. It's a tremendous amount of money. And you say, hey, Bob, we will give you $1 million if you give us this thing. And no, it's just too risky. It's just too risky kind of thing. So you try the money, you try the ideology, helping the United States promoting freedom, and it will not work. And again, this thing is so important that your superiors have said that pull out all the stops, do whatever it takes. So then you go to coercion, aka blackmail, and you say to them, all right, Bob, I wanted to give you this money. I've got to be honest with you. This is so important that clearly you have been betraying your country. You have been spying and helping the United States for the last 3 years. You've given us a treasure trove of information. And, I record some of the things we do. We have photographs of you meeting with me. We have all these documents that you've handed over. We have your fingerprints on the documents type of stuff. And we need this information so badly that if I don't have it in 2 weeks I'm just making the date up, obviously, by March 29th at midnight, these documents, which you handed over us, these information that contains your fingerprints, pictures, whatever evidence you actually have, you can say is going to be mailed anonymously to your government. They're going to know that you betrayed them, and they're probably going to put you to death because they don't take kindly at all to people betraying their country. So I hate to do this to you, but if you don't have this information in 2 weeks, this packet of information that shows you betraying your country is going to be mailed to everybody. And your family might be killed, and you might be killed kind of thing. Yes, that's harsh, but remember, this is a spy business, and the information you're requesting is so critical to national security that maybe it's going to prevent the grid from going down for a significant amount of times. Maybe it's going to help prevent an economic collapse in the U.S. because of an attack on the U.S. financial system. So something very, very critical. Otherwise, you would not be making those threats. Otherwise, you wouldn't be blackmailing this guy. So once you tell this guy, Bob, our Russian guy named Bob, that, hey, I'm going to blackmail you, I'm going to send this packet, he says, yep, okay, I'll do it. I agree to do it. He gives you the information, you verify and check that it's right. It helps the United States tremendously. Well, after that point, Bob doesn't want to work with you. He doesn't want to get you information. He might verify. He might vanish and you'll never hear from him again, which is very, very likely. So you lost a good source who was giving you information, but you did it because the information you had access to, which was so critical that you were given the authorization to pull out all the stops and do whatever it took. That's why you had to blackmail. So blackmail is not recommended. It again burns the source, so you lost that source who for years might have given you reliable intelligence. So you only use blackmail in quote unquote life or death circumstances as an absolute last resort if you're trying to recruit somebody, if you're trying to get somebody to work with you, because it burns bridges. This isn't good. So going back to mice, we have money, ideology, coercion, aka blackmail, and last, which is of course E, is ego. So if you're recruiting somebody, you may say to them, hey, I know you're the world's best scientist and we'd like you to help us and, share us all this stuff. And they'll say, oh yeah, I'm so smart. My country doesn't appreciate me. And I deserve to be paid $100,000 for XYZ or whatever the real number is. And you tap into that ego. You let them know that, oh, the president's going to be seeing this information. Senators and congressmen are going to be talking about you and singing your praises. You're going to be an American hero in the inner circle. And your work is just, we've never seen anybody this bright, this smart. So clearly, I would say everybody, most men, every man, women are a little bit smarter than us, but everybody has some type of ego. So if you tap into that, especially if you're an intelligence operative going to recruit somebody, the people you're recruiting are often the best at what they do. So it's not that hard to tap into the ego. So why do people spy? Mice, money, ideology, coercion, aka blackmail, and last but certainly not least is ego. So you can tap into all those, hopefully avoid the blackmail because it doesn't always end up good. But now you know if you're going to recruit somebody, if you're an intelligence officer for the United States government, you already know this stuff. But anyway, that's how you're using it. If you are not an intelligence officer, hopefully this is just good information. Maybe you're trying to motivate somebody who works for you, works with you, don't do anything illegal, don't do anything wrong. And if you are somebody who's going to betray the United States, I hope you get caught, I hope you get hanged, I hope you get the firing squad. My name is Jason Hanson. I'm a former CIA officer. I love this country. Hopefully you learned a thing or two. Please like, subscribe, turn on that ring notification. And if you want more spy secrets that can benefit you, that can benefit your family, and will guaranteed keep you safer, click on the link below. You'll find some valuable information there too. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'm out of here.